Warning! This podcast may contain vulgar and offensive language such as whore, fuck, and bitch. Viewer discretion is advised. You fucking pussies!
This is the intro. Fuck. Welcome to the PodShow, the intro to the PodShow.
Moving on to the next topic. Alright.
Do this.
What are some of y'all's favorite video games? It could be out right now or past experiences.
So, out right now games, this also kind of includes a little bit older games, back to only a couple years ago, up to most popular games, I should say, would be the Call of Duty series. Not like Ghost and Advanced Warfare, like Black Ops.
Yeah.
Is
The Black Ops series.
Yeah, the Black Ops series. And obviously, pretty much everything on Super Nintendo, fucking Atari,
Of
Right.
course,
all that
of
kind of
course,
stuff.
retro gaming is the best.
Like, y'all may believe that we just some young little punks that don't know nothing about it. Okay, we was actually raised up right. We know about Atari, Sega, all that different kind of stuff because we played it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
had
what we were raised up
amazing.
on.
Granted, there was some bad situations growing up, but we actually had some pretty amazing family growing up, raising us up on everything that y'all know. So,
And y'all know.
I know personally, one of my favorite games, it's an older game, but I haven't played it in years, but I remember it like it was back then. Double Dragon. It came out for, I do believe, the Sega. If I'm not, if my memory serves me right, Double Dragon, it was a multiplayer side-scroller game. It was so much fun. So much fun.
Are you talking about the one with, it was kind of like a Street Fighter type deal?
Yeah.
Only it was different. It was like a futuristic world in a way. It was still
Yeah.
kind of modern.
Yeah.
But
You can pick up different weapons to fight the enemies and stuff like
Yeah.
that with. Is
if I'm not mistaken, they did make a movie.
one of my most favorite games that I played all the time, obviously besides like all the GTAs,
GTA will always be a personal favorite.
always represent.
GTA 3 for life.
It was on Nintendo 64, and out of everybody I've talked to about this game, I can't exactly remember the name of it to save my life, but out of everybody I've talked to about it, doesn't hardly know about this game, and it kind of upsets me.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it's called like Squonk's Bad Fur Day.
I remember.
Yes.
I remember
You
very
played
much
as a
so. Yeah.
squirrel, and there used to be like the flowers with the big old titties and all that different kind of stuff. You had
Yeah.
to fight like garbage monsters and stuff.
If I do
like that.
remember correctly, they remastered it and put it on PS2.
They did.
I
I
think.
think so. But one of my most favorite, besides the whole story mode to it, my favorite part was there was a mini game in there, and it was squirrels versus bears, and it was pretty much like an OG battle royale game. Like, you just found weapons and demolished. You had chainsaws, fucking machine guns, all different kinds of stuff. Oh,
I
it
have to
was
admit,
amazing.
the poster for that game was fucking badass.
Oh, yes, it was.
Did you guys
Having
ever
Squonk
play-
sit on the chair with the fucking crown on his head and just fuck you, I'm king.
Did you guys ever play the game Serious Sam?
I think I've heard of it.
It sounds familiar.
Sounds very familiar.
I used to play it a lot with my childhood friend Bishop. I used to go over to his house almost every weekend, and we would play a game called Serious Sam. I can't really, I don't remember too much about it, but I know that it was like a multiplayer, fucking kill everyone kind of game. It was super fun. I can't remember much about it, but
If you notice, don't get me wrong, like the graphics and all that, looking back on them now, sucked. And, nowadays games, like gory games and stuff like that, the gore is more intense.
Yeah.
But if you look back on it now, those games were just so much better.
Because back in the day, they didn't just spend, all the time on graphics and stuff like that. Yes, graphics was important, but it was the story mode.
Yes.
That's what they were focused on, especially in...
The story was key point to the game.
Yeah, that was the selling point, because back then they didn't have all these special features, different game modes and stuff like that. They had basically the story mode and then extras. They didn't have all these, nooks and crannies and, multiplayer modes and stuff like that. It was all just story mode based.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the classic games.
Like, Rugrats.
I lied. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I just need to do a little rewind. The name of it was not Squonk's Bad Fur Day. It was Conker's.
Conkers, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Conker's Worst Fur Day is what it was called.
There you go.
And that was amazing.
So,
Freaking love that game.
do you know if it was redone for the PS2 or not?
That's actually what I'm trying to look up.
Because I'm trying to remember, because I think I saw it on the PS2, but I could be badly mistaken. Too many drugs in my ears.
Although, here lately, I have been revisiting a very, very amazing and just complete badass series of video games. It was, I'm sure many people will know just from hearing who made it. It was a 2K Games video game series, the BioShock series.
Yes.
BioShock, really good. Really good.
So, on the topic of what you just said, if it was remastered, it was.
Okay, okay.
They remastered it for the original Xbox, and they also renamed it to Conquer Live and Reloaded.
Yeah.
Which obviously now can be purchased on Xbox One, Xbox One S.
So it was never redone for the PS2?
It's not what it's showing now.
Okay, okay. But more on the BioShock.
Yeah, dude. When I was younger, my dad would always play BioShock.
Yeah.
I loved that game. This was after Xbox 360. I don't remember what version first came out, but it wasn't when Xbox 360 came out. It, after a while. But he would sit there and just play BioShock, and as a kid, Caleb remembers me and horror-related stuff when I was a kid. I mean, killer clowns from outer space scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, dude. You remember that game that we used to play whenever we was growing up? Oh, dude, if you don't remember, I'm going to slap you as hard as I can upside the head.
Well, damn.
I don't know if you ever played it.
If it's horror related, probably.
It's not.
Yeah.
But they came out with a lot of different things besides just this game, was Bionicles.
Yes.
Yes.
Me and him, every time I went to play his house, we would stay up for 2 nights straight.
Went to play his house?
Huh?
You said went to play his house?
Went to stay the night at his house. My bad. We went to stay the night at his house, and we'd stay up for like 2 or 3 days, just freaking playing Bionicles.
Oh yeah, I had. Let's see, which ones did I have? I had the old game. Like I'm talking, it was the one with the original Bionicles characters, with the golden mask and all that. And then I also had Bionicles Heroes, and I want to say one other Bionicles video game. Loved Bionicles. It was amazing.
I feel you. I remember growing up and playing stuff like that, because I think, if I'm not too badly mistaken, then again I could be, they used to have the separate series for like the Game Boy SP and stuff like that, didn't they?
I believe so, but honestly, I was never really all that into the PSPs and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was more manufactured for like the console games.
When it came down to Game Boys,
Mhm.
the only one I ever played was the Color.
Yeah. Game Boy Color?
Yeah. However, one of the things, I mean, this was a while back, one of the things I used to love to do when it came down to playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since he brought up Black Ops earlier.
Yeah.
Playing Black Ops Zombies, high as shit. Okay.
Oh my god, it was so intense. It would be so intense, especially if he was playing online.
Oh yeah.
After that Joker came out, after it was out for like 2 months, dude, being high as a kite playing Black Ops online multiplayer, there were so many tryhards. Oh my god, you would just rage. Instant rage, like as soon as the game started.
Oh yeah. It was every time too. But playing zombies and shit was also fun.
Yeah.
Especially, and I know Caleb's gonna know what I'm talking about. This wasn't a moment when I was high. Yeah, I was drunk, in fact. I was drunk, in fact, and it was the first time I got drunk. Actually, we were playing Black Ops Zombies.
I remember.
It was.
I remember.
It was on the map. What was the name of that map? Where you start off at the oil rig looking place, and then you go down into the tunnels with the graveyard and the giant dude. Yes.
Was this on the original Black Ops?
It wasn't the first Black Ops. No. I want to say it was Black Ops 2.
I'm trying to think
I don't
because it
think-
sounds very familiar.
I don't think there's one with a graveyard.
Yeah, it's
No.
because you go down.
You're talking about
Origin?
I think it's Black Ops 2 Mob of the Dead. There's the Warden.
You talking about the hillbilly giant dude?
Oh,
Chilling
you're
down
talking
there.
about Barry. That's
Yeah.
what
That's
you're
what I
talking
thought.
about.
I thought you
Yes.
were talking about Barry, but I didn't want to
Yes.
say it. It
Yeah.
sounds stupid.
There's a
Section
giant
over
hill
there
there.
that's a graveyard. Yeah. And I
Barry
remember,
was super intense.
Dude, that guy would get like
oh yeah.
super intense if you gave him some candy. Oh, yeah. He's fixing to smash every zombie
But
inside.
as you remember, my first time being drunk playing on that map.
All he ever wanted to do was shoot the guy. It'd take
I
me
shot
20
Barry.
minutes to find the key to get him out of the cage, and as soon as he steps out, Chris is like, doo-doo. I was like, you freaking prick! Like, he would make me so mad. He just thought it was the funniest thing in the daggone world.
So, speaking of getting high and playing video games, one of my favorite series of all times to go through and play, I can play it all day, no fucking issue.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Oh yes.
My favorite Resident Evil game to date. I've played and beaten it over 100 times. Resident Evil 4. That is my shit.
See, okay, so whenever I first started playing Resident Evil, it was, I think the second one that came out was the first one I ever played.
Yeah.
And I've never really played the third one. But whenever they came out with Resident Evil 4, if you remember, the controls, the camera angle and everything was so much different.
Spot on.
Like,
It's because
okay,
it showed from behind you instead of...
yeah. So kind of like, you remember on Black Ops how they had Dead Ops Arcade where it was like a looking down angle? That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
Back then, and whenever they came out with Resident Evil 4, it was the first one to actually be in a third-person point of view.
That's when the series really took off.
My goodness,
was Resident
I
Evil
felt
4.
in love. Because I'm good at, like, first-person and third-person games. I'm super good at them.
Yeah.
But whenever... yeah. Overhead view, not so much.
Because the controls were so cattywampus, it's like, it was hard.
Real.
It took a while to get adjusted to them, but after you did, you know,
Now that
it got easier.
Now that I think back on that, I actually never beat a Resident Evil game until Resident Evil 4 came out.
Man. So, funny thing about Resident Evil 4, actually. Okay, so this is a personal experience. It's a personal experience, but not trying to go into too much detail about what happened. But my older brother had ran away from the house. Okay, Resident Evil 4 was mine and his thing. You know, he would go through and play it, I would watch it. I never played it at this point in time. One day, I asked him for a hug. From my recollection, I had never gotten a hug from my brother until this day. He told me that the only way I was going to get a hug from him is if I beat that game. I beat the game while he was still away. And he came back, and I'd beaten it like 3 times. I was like, where's my fucking hug? I've done this 3 times on the hardest difficulty. What are you gonna do? Where's my fucking hug?
It's time to pay up, brother.
Like, I was like, I tortured myself because I loved horror movies. Don't get me wrong, horror movies is my favorite genre. But me sitting down and playing, like putting myself in that experience as a younger, younger or whatnot, was never easy. I always had to have someone in the living room with me while I was playing the game, and I'm not alone. But I tortured myself just so I could get that hug from my brother. I apologize for the inconvenience, but we are going to have to cut this one short due to time restraints. Thank you for listening to this amazing podcast, The PodShow, and make sure to come back for part 3. Thank you. Good night.